Alright, hey guys, I'm here with Kyle McGee. Kyle, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm alright. You know, we were talking a little bit before, so let's just get right into it. How's training going?
Training's going good. I'm getting on a lot more steady scheduler. For a while, I was like, this and that were getting in the way. A lot of personal problems, a lot of, physical injuries and shit like that. But past 2 weeks now, I've gone to Monday through Thursday for jiu-jitsu. And I've been going to Planet Fitness as well for weightlifting and conditioning. And I've been doing boxing drills and hitting the bag and kickboxing at home. So just past, literally I've trained 6 days out of the week now. So I'll be weightlifting tomorrow and doing some boxing and stuff. And Saturday I'll do some conditioning and some other stuff. And that's pretty much how training's going, just every day except for 1 day off a week.
Oh, good stuff. We've seen that you've been training with Brody. I think that's how you pronounce his name. How's he coming along?
Progress is always very slow with this stuff, because there's only so much you can learn at a time. I think the only problem with him, and I don't want him to see this and get mad, it's just me being honest, is that the techniques that I'm teaching him, it's like he processes them through his head and he understands them and he remembers them, but then when we get into actual sparring and stuff, he completely forgets them, doesn't go for them, and just goes for a bunch of stuff. Like, he'll go for triangles and he'll only lock my head, so I have both my arms on the outside, which I think you probably even well know, both arms on the outside hugging both the legs, that's a guard pass.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's just, it's slowly but surely. I think, I thought I told him, I was like, I don't have all the time in the world to keep training you because I'm trying to get a car, and when I do, I'm joining another gym for boxing and kickboxing. I told him, I was like, I don't have all the time in the world to train you and be training someone else when I'm trying to learn and get better myself. I told him he needs to get in a gym, and he said he doesn't know when that's going to happen, but I think that'll be the best thing for him. I think if he and I do train together anymore, probably won't be sparring with him because I'm not getting anything out of it, neither is he. Probably just take him through drills and teach him some techniques, and that's about it.
Oh, good stuff. Can you describe how it felt to be in that boxing tournament? I mean, I've been in exhibition boxing things, but not something that organized. So I just want to know, and probably the fans want to know how it felt to be in there.
Well, the first night was pretty hectic, just simply because there was supposed to be another gym. There was, the main gym that was there, but were the people that I ended up fighting. There was supposed to be another gym coming in that were going to be the guys that I fought. And they no-showed, didn't show up or say anything. So I got thrown into the adult tournament. I was supposed to be in, the teenager, 16 to 18 tournament. I got thrown into the adult tournament, and the first guy I fought was 21 years old. And my coach was like, it's up to you, and I said, I'll do it. And, it felt good. It was just a little hectic at first, trying to figure everything out. The finals night was ridiculous, and I don't talk about this too much, but no, it was ridiculous. They called me up there and got me in the ring to fight 3 times, and then pulled me out and said, never mind, we're doing a different fight. So I don't want to be the one to make excuses, but I did not get a chance to warm up or anything, so that first shot that hit me threw me off, because, have you heard, UFC 123, BJ Penn versus Matt Hughes? BJ Penn's cornerman told him he's cold, go out there and hit him immediately. And Matt got knocked out. I'm that's what I've always thought. It's and my coach even said it. I wasn't warmed up properly, and I got hit by a good shot. I wasn't ready for it, and my equilibrium got knocked off, and I wasn't prepared,
Yeah.
I literally, I'm not even kidding you. My mom, anyone who was there could tell you. I walked up, and my mom was even confused because they kept pulling me up into the ring. I was getting ready, I was getting warmed up, and he'd be like, okay, never mind. And then we ended up being the last fight after being called up there 3 or 4 times. So it was hectic. I mean, it was a good experience, don't get me wrong, but all in all, as organized as it was also a little unorganized when it came down to actually getting, who's going to fight when.
All right. Right after the tournament, I asked you if you would be in there again. You said that after the loss, you kind of got a little bit of a fire under you. How's that looking now?
There for a while, I was like, I got that fire underneath me, and then after a little bit, I just didn't care to do it. I just wanted to focus on mixed martial arts. And then I've been taking some time to think about it, and what I'm going to do here is when I join top level, I'm going to train boxing a lot more than I initially planned on doing when I joined there. And think that I plan on, by my 20th the year of my 20th birthday, I'm going to do the Golden Gloves tournament, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I was supposed to do it my first year of boxing, because my coach, Chad, my old coach, Chad, said, for the first couple months I was progressing impressively, and he thought I'd be ready for Golden Gloves, but they ended up canceling at my gym, and they were going to throw me up against a guy who was like, a kid my age, who had 11 matches already, and it was going to be my first match, and my boxing coach said, I hate to do this to you, and I feel bad, but I can't allow that. And, I respect that completely. I don't think that makes sense to throw me in there my first ever match against a kid who's the defending Indiana, regional champion, and 11 fights against a guy with no fights. I didn't think it made sense, so I agreed with my coach, and I respected his decision. But I've still got the desire to go in there. I think it'd be a good experience for my stand-up, test for my stand-ups at, and plus it's just, the experience of going in there and doing some boxing. I always loved boxing. I've loved it since I was a little kid. My grandpa was a boxer, so I've always been really into it.
All right. And when can we see you in a jiu-jitsu tournament? We were talking about this earlier. I really want to see you in one of those, but yeah.
I'm also working on that too. I told everyone that I didn't want to enter one as a white belt. I wanted to enter one as a blue belt, when the competition's going to be sturdier. And it's going to be a lot of guys, actually using technique. Because I've seen a lot of white belt tournaments, and there's some guys you run into that use technique, but those are typically the guys that just run through. A lot of white belts are just, they're still very new, and they're just, kind of throwing each other around. And I was like, I'm not interested in doing that. I'll wait till my blue belt. And I was going to do it this year, June 1st, the Hoosier Open. Because the first tournament I want to do a tournament in Indy. Because a lot of tournaments that we can go to are like, in Kentucky or Ohio. And I don't want to have my first tournament traveling out of state. I want to be able to stay in state and just relax, not have to get a hotel and stuff. But I had my SATs the day of, so I couldn't really do it. But I am planning on getting into one as soon as I can find one in Indiana. Absolutely.
All right. Well, now we're just gonna get off of the topic of you, and we're gonna get into a little bit of UFC. What do you think of the Korean Zombie Aldo fight? I mean, I can't wait for this fight. I think that Korean Zombie's gonna beat him, but a lot of people have a different opinion of it.
My opinion on the fight, I do think Aldo will win, but MMA is also the sport where you can never count anyone out. Korean Zombie, as we've seen, definitely will have a puncher's chance no matter who he's going against. And I'm not saying that's the only chance he has, because he's got a great ground game, he's got a good stand-up, but I think that the thing with Aldo, it's kind of like with Silva. He just has that, what everyone said about Silva, he just has that aura and that mystique around him that everyone, kind of is already beaten before they get in the cage with him, just because, this is a guy who a lot of people might not think so, but could arguably be, and I think you can understand what I'm talking about with this, could arguably be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So he's got that mystique around him, and I think that's going to be enough. I think Korean Zombie's a little bit more of a brawler, and Aldo's a more technical fighter, so Aldo should have the edge there. But Aldo's shown a weak gas tank, and that's where I think it'll come down to it. I think Edgar won the last 2 rounds. I think the 3rd round was debatable, depending on, who you gave it to.
Yeah.
But he's always looked to, slow down after the 2nd or 3rd round, so I think that'll be a big factor, is if he gets tired and Korean Zombie can pour it on.
And what UFC event are you most looking forward to coming up?
Is that even a question? 168. Rousey versus Tate 2, and Anderson versus Weidman 2, but I don't think that's even fair, because like Dana said, that's already shaping up to be the biggest card in UFC history, so taking that one off the table, gotta say I'm looking forward to, and a lot of people might be shocked by this, because a lot of people think it's already predetermined who's going to win. I'm pretty excited for Jones and Gustafsson.
I am too. I'm going to that one, actually.
You are? Nice.
Yeah, well, it's in Toronto, so.
The other one I'm looking forward to is GSP and Hendricks, because a lot of people agree with me. I think if anybody in the division can do it, it probably is Hendricks, because he's got the good wrestling, he can stuff the takedowns if needed, and he's got that knockout power, so if he's got 5 rounds to win that shot, and if he can, I'm sure Hendricks can follow through, but GSP's a great fighter, so we'll see how that one goes, too. I think, though, in light heavyweight, Gustafsson and Teixeira are the 2 guys that could pull it off against Jones.
I feel like Gustafsson has, the puncher's chance like Hendricks has.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna get grinded out for all 5 rounds, unless he gets finished. And he has very cuttable skin, right? So
yeah. And let's be honest with Jones. The thing is, if this fight, if Jones takes control of this fight, it will end.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
We've seen that many times in the past. When Jones takes control, it finishes. I think the one thing you could take away from that is the Rashad fight, but him and Rashad was just a very awkward fight, mostly because, they knew each other, so they were trying not to, I don't know.
No, I get what you mean, yeah. Like, they didn't want to give the other one a chance to win, because then the other one would get bragging rights. It's just...
So they were used to the way that they trained together, so I think that's how they came in, kind of like a training session.
Yeah, it really felt like a sparring session, and,
It did. Like, I thought that the whole time. It felt like a sparring session, and Jones rocked him at one point, but even then it felt like a sparring session, because Jones didn't rush in like he should during a fight. It was kind of like, if you rock your sparring partner, you back off a bit, and that's what Jones did. He kind of just stayed off him.
Yeah, and about the GSP thing, I swear to God, I think that the only person who can beat him in that division is Ellenberger.
I think Ellenberger could do it too. I don't think Rory McDonald really is going to be able to get up there. I don't think Rory McDonald's top 10 and as high up as everyone thinks he is, because what is he ranked? Number 3?
Yeah, he's very, very overranked for the people who he's beaten.
Like, I joked, because Dylan Buffington and I were actually having a conversation, and I love BJ Penn, he's one of my favorite fighters, but Dylan was like, he's never beaten anyone top 10. And I was like, oh, what do you mean against an undersized Diaz or an undersized Penn? Yeah, that's what's said. His best wins were 2 guys who are natural lightweights.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and I mean, Mike Pyle's a decent win, but that was before Mike Pyle really got his career majorly turned around.
And then, if he would have beat Condit, that would have been a huge win, but... Yes,
but the thing is, Condit in the past has shown if you have great takedowns, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing that's been his weakness is his wrestling. I mean, he would have won that. Hendricks, he was winning that fight standing up. All those takedowns are the only reason he lost that fight.
Oh, definitely. I was very, very angry about that. But I'm a GSP fan, so I can't really talk, smack about that, because that's exactly what GSP did to Condit.
Yeah.
Right, but I feel like GSP did a lot more on the ground than Hendricks did.
He did. I think Condit was doing a lot better getting up in this fight than he did against GSP. And I'm not saying that that's like, Hendricks has a shit ground game. I just think that Condit had prepared his bottom game, and he had more time to prepare it than he did for GSP probably.
And you have to add it in, right? So, like the training camp for GSP.
Yeah. Plus the training camp for Hendricks. And it's like, also, without discrediting Hendricks, those are 2 different beasts on the ground.
Yeah. Who do you think Nick Diaz's next opponent is? I read a story about him getting offered a fight, and then somebody said he wasn't offered a fight, but if he does come back, it's...
If he does come back, who would I like to see him fight, or who do I see him fighting?
Both.
Okay. Who would I like to see him fight? Honestly, I'd kind of like to see him fight Rory, just so one of them would get their damn mouth shut. Hopefully Rory. Who do I see him getting matched up with? Win or lose in his next fight, Condit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. But I would have liked them to fight right now because they're both coming off of 2 losses.
Yeah, but Condit's going to fight Kampmann, and I think that Condit will probably pull it out this time.
Oh, I hope so. I like Condit.
Better fucking win.
No, but see, then I have I have this love-hate thing with Martin Kampmann, where whenever I actually really, really, truly cheer for him, he does something stupid and loses the fight.
Yeah.
But against Jake Shields, he could have won that fight, except he's like, nah, I'm just gonna clinch with him. Or I think he took him down.
He didn't take him down. It was like Jake went for a takedown and he shot for a Darce, and it was like, dude, this is Jake Shields. You're not getting it. Yeah,
and I remember watching it with Carmen Camastro actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was who was on that card?
Lesnar, Velasquez, and Tito and Matt Hamill.
Yeah. Okay, that was it. And I just remember Jake Shields winning that decision. I'm like, wow.
I thought he won it, but I thought it was only because Kampmann's mistakes.
Yeah, like if he would have separated and kept the fight standing, he would have won that fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Kampmann learned a lot from that fight, but then I don't think he's going to rebound from this from the Hendricks loss.
No, I think he's going to need another fight before he can rebound.
Yeah, and it's a tough fight to rebound with. Condit? Are you joking me?
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's beat Condit before, but that was years ago, and Condit's evolved, you know, they both have, so it's going to be an interesting fight.
But I think Kampmann's chin actually has been worn down, though.
Yeah.
You know, he how many times has been knocked? He hasn't been knocked out that often, though.
No, that was the first time he's been knocked out that I've seen, but I know he got dropped against Ellenberger very quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ellenberger and Hendricks power-wise are two different beasts than Condit.
Very true. Condit has his power in his knees.
Yeah, Condit's power is in his knees and his kicks. His hands aren't majorly powerful. I mean, yeah, he's got power, obviously, not to discredit him, and look what he did to Dan Hardy, but that's not where his main power comes from.
Oh, definitely not. There's something. Oh, the Demian Maia. Who's replacing Fitch? Or not Fitch. Koscheck.
No one. They scrapped the fight off the card.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta keep up to date, man.
I didn't like that fight to begin with, honestly. I mean, look what happened to Fish. Do you really think anything different was going to happen to Koscheck?
Yeah, that's very, very true. The only thing that Koscheck could have done was try to knock him out. You know, and
like, here's another thing I had to say. What I don't get is how, I understand he's still higher ranked, but I don't get how Koscheck just got knocked out by Robbie Lawler and is getting a guy who's perennial top 5 fighter, and Robbie Lawler is fighting an unranked guy.
Yeah.
I just don't get that.
I think it's because they're trying to see if Robbie Lawler can be consistent this time around.
Oh yeah, well I mean, my point behind it is I think Koscheck should be fighting someone lower ranked anyways. It's not like it was like, you know, a close, controversial decision, or, you know, he was dominating for 3 rounds and got clipped by a lucky punch. I mean, this was the first round, and he didn't do too much before the knockout anyways.
Yeah, and then what else is there? There's oh, how about Josh Thompson, eh? Is there any news on him?
He was wanting to fight Pettis, and they were trying to get the fight going, and then they were going to get it going, and then TJ Grant got injured.
So I find that bullshit, to be honest with you, but, you know, I can't wait for that fight. Injury? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist, though. I believe in the Illuminati. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it might have been. He might have, you know, but TJ says that the UFC could have paid him any amount of money to duck out of a title fight, which I hope is true, because, you know, if you're in the sport, you should be in there to be the best. Yeah,
not about the money. Don't get me wrong, the money must be nice, but yeah, definitely not about the money. Who else is there? Sorry, man, I'm just trying to think about
Oh, good. There's Velasquez and Dos Santos 3.
I don't want to see that, man. I want them to take a break.
Not yet. Yeah, I agree with you. We need a break from that fight, because the thing is, these are the 2 best heavyweights in the world, without a doubt. So after this fight, if one of them wins convincingly, we're never going to see this fight again. These 2 are never going to get a chance to fight for the title as long as the other one's champion, you know?
Yeah, it kind of fucks up the whole UFC heavyweight division, because there's no one else in there who I think can beat them.
No. I mean, everyone says Overeem, but look at what Bigfoot did. And
Get the hell out of here with Overeem.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe that all Overeem has a chance.
Yeah, like, not at all.
I don't see it.
Lesnar was able to bloody him up on the stand-up. Are you freaking joking me? Come on.
As you and I both know, our favorite fighter was Lesnar, but Brock was no stand-up guy.
Yeah, like if he took you down, like all bets are off. Well,
yeah, but if he stood up with you, well, we know who's winning this one.
Yeah. Well, except for if your name is Randy Couture. Ooh, insults.
Randy Couture, let's be honest, Frank Mir.
Yeah, Frank Mir kind of disappointed me in the second fight. He actually I think he rocked Lesnar with an elbow in that one.
He rocked Lesnar with a flying knee, but Lesnar was getting a takedown anyways. So.
Oh, yeah, and then, so he might as well take him down, or he might as well hit a knee while he's getting taken down, right?
Yeah.
And then there's news that Fedor might be coming back, but that was like a brief rumor.
Yeah, I really hope it's just that, a rumor. I think he retired the perfect way. I think that what we learned is he can compete with, you know, unranked guys who are in the top 100, he can't compete with the guys in the top 10.
Yeah, he really can't. Like, especially that Henderson knockout was one of the most vicious things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is, I mean, Henderson's got power, but don't get me wrong. It's a light heavyweight knocking you out. And you fight a heavyweight, you're not going to do too well against guys like Dos Santos.
Or Lesnar. That's why I keep on telling people, man. I swear Lesnar would have beat him.
Yeah, I agree completely. Well, the thing, I think anyone that was in the top 10 would have beat him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How about Brian Stann retiring, bud?
I think it was the right decision for himself. I understand what he said. He said he's been playing football since he was a little kid and then fighting. So what he said was, you can only roll the dice so many times with getting a hit in the head. All the concussions he's probably had from football, plus the concussion of getting knocked out. And with his family, I guarantee he just decided it wasn't worth the risk anymore, which I completely respect. I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah,
I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that he wouldn't go out on that note. But it's all about family at that point. He's made his money. He's got a good job waiting for him.
Oh yeah, college broadcaster. That's a great job.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of football, to be honest, because we don't have an NFL team.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Right, we have an CFL team, Canadian Football League, Argos, but yeah, that doesn't count in terms of big things,
It doesn't.
We have the Leafs, so obviously I'm a huge Leafs fan, right? And it's bad, not having a football team here. It kind of neglects everything.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you guys got a basketball team at the very least. I don't know if you're into basketball.
Oh, no, I actually hate the Raptors, to be honest with you. And this is going to come back to bite me in the ass one day if I ever become, into UFC or anything. And somebody looks through my videos and sees that I hate the Raptors. I mean, I'm screwed, man. I can't go to no Raptors game after that.
No.
I'm not a huge basketball fan. I like playing it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm decent at playing it. But it's just, I don't like sitting back and watching it. The thing with fights is, I can learn something from fighting.
Oh, yeah, completely. I got you on that.
But with basketball, what am I going to learn? To dribble a ball or shoot it? You know what I mean? It's just
No, I understand.
And same with golf, though. I love playing mini golf. I'm the Tiger Woods of mini golf.
Hey, I've had some pretty crazy good comebacks at mini golf, I won't lie.
Yeah, but those kind of sports I don't like, and then I don't remember what my original point was. I just kind of rambled off the original point. But my main point, I think was, oh yeah, my Raptors things. Yeah, I hate the Raptors. I want to be I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I got my, because I have a disability. I got my disability permit, the parking permit. So I got excited, man. And I got my Ontario photo ID. I've never had photo ID. I look like a bald monkey in my photo, man. You know the mug shots?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's absolutely horrible. See, you don't have photo ID yet, though, do you?
I've got my license, so pretty much the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, but you don't have the mugshot.
No.
You probably had your hair all done up and everything, looking fly.
No.
Okay, just a couple more questions. Let's see. There's a question. Which division do you think is deeper? Welterweight or middleweight?
That's a pretty good question. But I think for either one, you have to take out, Anderson or GSP. But
well, don't you mean Weidman and GSP?
Yeah, but I mean, okay, Weidman, Anderson, and GSP have to be taken out. Because let's be honest, even if you take Weidman out, Anderson's going to reign over that division.
Yeah.
Welterweight, yeah. I'd have to say welterweight.
Thank God.
Middleweight's got guys in the top 10 and then that's it.
Yeah. Like me and Devin were arguing about it, and he kept on saying, but he's a huge Anderson Silva fan, right? I still say to this day that lightweight is the most stacked division of all time.
Yes, lightweight is the most stacked division ever. I agree.
You know, you got still, what's his name? Gray Maynard.
Gray Maynard, TJ Grant, Pettis, you know, if he went back up there, Edgar, Henderson. There's plenty more guys. I mean, you got Barboza, you got Varner, you got Gillard when he's got his mind right. You got.
Where did he go?
He's training at Grudge right now. I think he's got a fight coming up.
Does he?
Mhm.
Oh, I never knew.
I'm not sure.
Let's see. Sorry, man. I promise the next time I have you on here, I'll have better prepared things.
It's like, I mean, we threw this together literally about a little over an hour ago.
Yeah. If there's a dream fight in the UFC for you, I think I already know who it is, but who would it be?
Like for me to fight?
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
Not me.
I'm talking about guys. I thought you meant guys already in the UFC. No, dude. When you and I get in there, obviously me and you, but my dream fight is Mighty Mouse. I dream about fighting him all the time. Like I daydream about it. You know, that's the fight I've wanted since. Even before the flyweight division came up, I've wanted that fight. After I saw him fight Kid Yamamoto, I was like, all right, I want that fight someday. And then when they brought him in at flyweight, I was rooting for him to become champion. I mean, he's my favorite fighter, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do fight him, it'll be a little weird, punch my favorite fighter in the face. But I think it'll be fun. But yeah, obviously when you and I make it, that's the dream fight. Like we've talked about, it'd be great. Champion versus champion, Madison Square Garden. But other than that, dream fight is Demetrius Johnson. I actually, my coworker and I were talking about, what I want to do with fighting, and I said, championship obviously is what I want, but that's secondary. I'd rather fight Demetrius Johnson non-title than fight any of the other guys in that division for the belt.
Interesting. All right, one more question. I got to make it good. Shit, I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to think of a really good question to end it off at. Let's see, man. If you think of a past champion from a different era, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think would be the best pound for pound? In their prime, anyone fighting anyone. Anderson Silva versus Hughes, Penn versus, Penn versus, I don't care, Franklin. It doesn't matter who.
So if we're putting all the champions from all time together, who do I think would still win the fights?
From any organization, Lesnar, Fedor, Wandy, anyone.
If you want to be honest, I still would have to throw Anderson as the best. I'd still put Anderson at pound for pound. But excluding him, probably say Matt Hughes in his prime.
Matt Hughes in his prime, eh?
Yeah. Matt Hughes in his prime or GSP are the two next guys, I think.
GSP.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. GSP's right up there. I don't agree with Jones taking Anderson's spot. I like that he's been humble about it. Did you see that Jones actually not happy he was given the spot?
Yeah.
He said he doesn't think he's earned it. I mean, I agree with him. He didn't earn it. He was handed it because Anderson lost. I think if anything, level of competition-wise, you could probably say Jones might be higher than GSP, and I'm not discrediting GSP. I just mean if you throw in fights like, Dan Hardy and fights that were obvious mismatches. I don't think Jones has had any obvious mismatches other than Sonnen and Belfort,
I think Belfort wasn't a mismatch, to be honest.
Yeah, Belfort wasn't a mismatch, but it was viewed as a mismatch because Belfort's a middleweight.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, thanks for being on the podcast. I'm going to stop filming now. If you want to talk more, cool. But if not, cool. And do you have anything else to say to the OFS fans or to your fans or whatever?
I just want to say thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for the support. And keep tuning in, and we'll keep videos coming, and we'll be putting on fights for you someday.
All right, thanks, man.
No problem.